Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wingcat Sports. Today, we're going to do our little pregame setup for the Lions versus the Jaguars and what we expect to see out of that game. You probably will be seeing Teddy Bridgewater this week, along with probably more action from the rookies.
Right. Well, Teddy's the one I think most of us want to kind of get a look at, even though he's only had a week, so you can't make much of a judgment. But we already know he's going to be the backup. That's why they brought him in here. So it's just to get him loose and get the rust off, get him more acclimated to what's going on. So it's not a big deal. We've had some recent injuries, and so I hope they play as many scrubs as possible. Don't want to see Branch getting hurt or any of the defensive backs or anything like that.
We'll see what they decide with the rookies, whether they will be played more this week, played the same amount or less. Some of them they might get played more than others just to see get them a little bit more work. I could see Laporta playing a little bit more this week since he didn't do much last week. But maybe Branch and Gibbs a little bit less work this week. But yeah, you did have your injuries this week with Williams and St. Brown both getting hurt. St. Brown wasn't going to play this week anyways. So he's probably going to be resting for a little bit, so he's good for the first week of the season. And then same thing with J-Mo. He got hurt this week too. He hurt his hamstring. He's probably not going to do anything for the rest of the preseason to keep him safe. And then he also has a 6-game suspension, right? So he can't play anyways. They'll make sure he's healthy before he plays in week 7 of the year.
It's not a big deal. I don't. I know people are getting like, well, what does he have to do to get you guys pissed at him? But in our opinion, or at least in my opinion, it's just like I want to see what the guy can do before I'm going to crucify him, before I'm going to tell him that he's a lost cause. I haven't even seen him on the field much. I mean, he's only got a few plays.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen, indications that he could be a really great player.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, that eventually the last, 10 games or so that he's going to contribute in a positive way. And until that happens, I don't even care. I don't care what he does off the field. I don't care any of this stuff. Just get healthy. Yeah. He's not on the team as far as I'm concerned until that game.
Yeah. Well, the main thing with him too is I think if he gets hurt again this year, right? He had a 6-game suspension. Let's say he plays 2 weeks, then gets hurt and is out for the rest of the year. Then you're not going to consider him reliable. But the feel about that right now, before he really has even had the chance to play, is kind of silly, in my opinion. You need to give him a chance to show you what he has.
Had some really bad luck. And, Stafford did too early in his career. He got hurt a lot, or he got hurt a few times. And people were starting to wonder about his durability. It's a tough game. And, I'm sure if they could go back, they would not take him with the 12th pick, considering if they could see what was going to be in the future. But they couldn't. They looked at an incredible talent, thought he was worth it. I'm not going to hold that against them. I think sometimes it doesn't work out.
No. They'll have their chances to see. He will definitely have his chance to prove himself, I think, this year.
Yeah, and I was reading today that Mims might already be considered, that he might be cut pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think the only reason he's probably on that cutting block is your young wide receivers that came out of nowhere. Drummond came out of nowhere and probably really contested for that spot that he had. Alexander, helping with that punt return that he had last week, probably solidified himself a little bit as a possibility to be on the team over him.
We're going to keep, 6 receivers? So
probably
who
6.
Are those 6 receivers, do you think, right now?
Well, you got your top 4, Williams, St. Brown,
Williams,
Reynolds.
Who's going to start the season?
Well, I'm saying in general. So you got, if you're not going to include Williams, you have St. Brown.
Right.
You're going to have, at the moment, I got it up right now.
Reynolds.
So you're going to have
Khalif Raymond.
You're going to have Brown, Marvin Jones, probably Khalif Raymond, because you just signed him to an extension.
Yeah.
He's going to be on the team. Josh Reynolds will probably be on the team.
Right.
That is going to leave you with a decision of your last 2 being Antoine Green, who you drafted. And then you're going to have your decision of Drummond, or you have Coda, or you have Alexander. They just brought back Davis, even though they cut him in the same week. They brought him back I have no idea fully why they did that.
I mean, out of those 4 right
Benson,
now, I mean, you might see Antoine Green make this team, and I didn't think he would. But he might make the team if Mims isn't going to be part of it.
So you got to think. So there's got with Jameson Williams on the team, you have basically Tom Kennedy apparently is still on this roster here. I thought he was hurt.
They're not.
So he's not going to make it.
No.
But you'll have Antoine Green, Dylan Drummond, Chase Cota, Maurice Alexander, Trinity Benson, Avery Davis, and Denzel Mims fighting for your 6th wide receiver spot, not to be on the practice squad. Right. I don't think Mims is going to be on the practice squad. They'll probably end up either keeping him as that 6th wide receiver if he makes it, but I feel like they're probably leaning at the moment towards Drummond, Cota, or Alexander. Cota had a really, really good game against the Giants.
Right. I mean,
so
those are the guys that I've been hearing positive things about. Drummond, we saw him in practice. He was dominant when we saw him in practice. Had a good game, and Green they've been saying a lot of good things about Green in practice.
So at least you're going to have 1 or 2 of those guys on your practice squad potentially. So with the amount that you have, all of them have their high points, and you got to think none of them are going to replace JMO. So one of the 2 people who start the year is eventually going to get kicked off, and they're going to be fighting throughout the whole year until at week 7, where one of them is going to have to get sent back to a practice squad and potentially picked up by another team. So that is one thing. When it comes to your running backs, I mean, Montgomery's going to be there, and Gibbs is going to be there. To look out, you got your running back battle, Ibrahim, who didn't really do too much last week.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it.
And then you also
Play
have
him a lot.
Ozigbo and Snell fighting for that last spot too.
I'd be playing.
I think Snell. It's Snell or Zigbo.
Do you think Gibbs is going to get any time this game?
He'll probably get a little bit. They're all going to get a little bit of time. Your QBs, that Nate Sudfeld and Adrian Martinez are probably going to get the bulk, and you'll have Bridgewater probably play a quarter, and the other 2 will play the other 3.
He's probably learned maybe,
if he is playing this week. I don't even know if it's confirmed he's playing this week.
And I don't know if I'd have him play this week. I'd just keep it Sudfeld and Martinez. Give Bridgewater another week to kind of figure out what's going on. He's in no rush right now.
Yeah, no, there's no rush for it.
What's the latest on Hooker?
Well, that he's not going to be playing. He's still practicing.
Yeah, right. What's the plan for the season? Have they said anything?
I haven't heard anything. I know he's not going to even probably. I don't know what they can do with Hooker, whether he's just going to be on the roster as a 3rd string or if they're going to like an injury kind of
practice
recognition for him. You don't want to put anyone on practice squad that can be picked up.
Right. That's true.
So you're not going to put Hooker on a practice squad. Either he'll have an injury thing for the year, or he will probably start the year as a 3rd string and just never really see the field. And that's why probably I see Adrian Martinez probably on your practice squad.
They could put him on IR and then not work.
Yeah, but I would say Adrian Martinez probably would be your practice squad QB if they're not going to do anything with Hooker.
If Sudfeld fell that much, Martinez looked awful in practice. He looked a little better in the game, but
well, like I said, last week you can't blame Sudfeld for that first interception. He got hit as he threw it. That was probably going to be a better throw if he didn't get hit. That second interception, that was on him, but he did not look good at all.
Right. Sudfeld looks like a 2nd, 3rd round quarterback. I mean, a 2nd string quarterback. So, I mean, that's what you get.
Now, I guess you can go through your tight end battle besides Laporta. I think if you're going to have your 3 tight ends are there. If you're going to go 4 tight ends deep, right, you got Laporta, Mitchell, right. So you probably want to pay attention to Daniels and Helm if you're interested in who that 4th TD on the team might be. If they're going to carry 4, you're going to have your top 3 already, but Zylstra being out for the year. And then besides that, there's not too many battles. You got your kicker battle as per usual going on right now. So pay attention to that and see how well the kickers do. I don't think they'll be doing too much in the preseason. That kind of kicker battle is mostly at practices. I want to lean more towards Patterson. I don't know if you have a preference between your kickers.
No, I think kickers, whoever the coach decides, I'm sure, it looks like it's going to be a tough decision. So
it's kind of going to go.
Which is a good thing because they're both kicking well. And so I whoever they feel more comfortable with. And
Yeah, it's going to come down to, I think, with that, whether they want the accuracy, which would be Patterson, or if you want the leg, which would be Romo. Do you want to be able
do
to
you
hit?
think Romo's inaccurate? I mean, I don't.
He's not as accurate as that. That's what they say. He's not as accurate as Patterson. Patterson doesn't have the leg that Romo has, but Patterson's more accurate.
Pretty close.
So
I mean, Patterson can hit. I mean, Patterson can hit the 50-yarders.
I think Romo can hit a 60.
Right. I mean, but I'm
So
just saying that if and I didn't notice any really inaccuracies with Romo. Nothing that would make me worried. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to the coaches, and I'm sure they'll make the right decision.
yeah, it'll be interesting what happens with all that stuff. But right, hopefully we get a lot of good stuff coming out of the Lions Jags game this week. I heard they did good in practice, so hopefully that transitions into the game. But with that being said, right, if you like what you see, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, share the video, and until next time, I hope to see everybody soon.